Back in August, I reviewed the Talkpod A36 Plus. Talkpod again reached out to me with this new version, claiming to have made some improvements over the earlier version. Did they deliver? Let's find out up next. Welcome to the House of Ham. I'm Bob, WV7W, and today we'll look at the updated Talkpod A36 Plus. Before I go over the changes, let's take a quick review of the features of the Talkpod. The Talkpod A36 Plus is a dual band and GMRS handheld transceiver. It has a bright color screen and it shows a good amount of information for both bands. The battery can be charged with a USB-C cable as well as the cradle that came with it. Talkpod comes in 3 colors. This time I went with the green, but they also come in black and clear. If you want to see my earlier review of the original Talkpod A36 Plus, you can click in the link above or in the description below. According to Talkpod, they worked tirelessly to remove spurious emissions, and they also added the following enhancements: an S-meter, 8-watt transmitter output power, a 3200 milliamp hour battery, direct channel naming, 999 channels, an actual FTDI programming cable. Now let's look at each of these and see how they did. I'll start with the spurious emissions. I have seen other YouTubers test this radio and show that the radio they received are within the FCC limits. Now I put this one I got on my Tiny SA, which is not the Ultra, so I cannot do quite the same level of testing they did, but here's what mine shows. On high power, the first harmonic is at 51.5 dB from the fundamental, so that is good. In low power, the first harmonic is down 50.3 dB from the fundamental, which is also good, but wait a minute, what is that? In between the fundamental and that first harmonic is another spike that is only down about 20 dB from the fundamental. That isn't good. Just to verify that it was the radio and not my Tiny SA, I also checked my TID radio branded UV5R on low power, which is also down about 58 dB, but there isn't that other spike. Then I checked the Talkpod on mid power, and the first harmonic is down about 50 dB, but there's that spike again. At first I was thinking it was me, but I've tested this a couple other times and I get the same result. The S-meter does work, and not only does it show a bar, but it also shows the S units above the bar in text, which is pretty nice. Now personally, I don't usually look at an S-meter on a handheld, but I have to give them credit for including one. They bumped the max power from 5 watts to 8 watts. Now, I'm not a big fan of using more than 5 watts with an HD close to my head. It's fine if you're using it on an external antenna, but if you're using it handheld, I'd advise against it. Now, I did check the power out at high power, and according to my meter, it is 8 watts. Now, I don't know if it's because they upped the max power or not, but they now include a 3200 milliamp hour battery, as where the original came with a 1500 milliamp hour battery. This makes the radio a little chunkier, but you should see significantly longer runtimes between charges. This next thing is actually really cool and something I would like to see more Chinese manufacturers implement, and that is direct channel naming. This means you can enter a new channel from the front panel, but you can also give it a name from the front panel without having to use any computer programming software to enter it. Now, Talkpod increased the number of channels from 512 to 999, so almost double. Now, I wish I could get more excited about this upgrade, as it sounds impressive, but really, how many channels have you ever filled? I am hard-pressed to fill 100, so giving me an additional 899 isn't really going to give me much to get excited about. If you want even to use more than a few of those channels, you're probably not going to want to enter them from the front panel. If you have that kind of patience, kudos to you. I, however, do not. Fortunately, the 8-watt version comes with an actual FTDI cable, and I was able to plug it into my Mac and read the radio settings directly from Chirp without having to download any drivers or use the Talkpod CPS. So now that I've looked at the enhanced 8-watt version, what are my thoughts? I think they made some nice improvements, but at least from the testing on the unit I received, I think there's still some room for improvement on spurious emissions, at least at low power. At high power, it looks pretty clean. Now, I know the world is an imperfect place, and it could very well just be the one that I received. But if that's the case, then maybe they need to work on their overall quality assurance. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this informative. The purpose of this channel is to provide useful information to the ham radio community. Until next time, 73.